Now, Indian pharma companies will now have to comply with good manufacturing practices that have been detailed in Schedule M of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. The government has essentially said that companies with an annual turnover of 250 crore rupees will be given 6 months to comply with these norms. Those lesser than 250 crores will be given a year to comply. Ekta is joining us now to explain this to us. Ekta, what does this mean now for companies and what are the implications for the industry?
In a move to improve quality of drugs manufactured in India and mend its image as the pharmacy of the world, the central government has decided to implement Schedule M to tighten the manufacturing practices of pharmaceutical companies in the country. The Good Manufacturing Practice System was first incorporated in 1988 in Schedule M of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1945. New GMP standards in Schedule M were made in 2001 and implemented in 2005. Schedule M prescribes requirements to facilities for maintenance, manufacturing, control and safety testing, storage and transport material, written procedures and records, traceability, etc. Issues, according to the ministry, which inspected over 160 units and 14 public testing labs, range from poor documentation, absence of testing incoming raw material, quality failure investigation, professionally qualified employees, amongst others. Companies have been given 6 to 12 months to adhere to requirements starting August 1st. Companies with a turnover of over 250 crores will be given 6 months and those with a turnover of below 250 crores 1 year to comply to standards. The certification will be valid for 3 years. While this step is expected to be positive, especially at a time when Indian companies have been in the dock due to the recent global incidence of substandard drugs, there are some concerns, point out experts. For example, one of the big concerns is that currently the pharma companies come under the purview of the state regulators. Hence, the power to issue or cancel licenses is with state governments. The concern then is that the central government does not have the power to implement the compliance standards. Also, while Schedule M became mandatory in the law in 2005, companies have struggled to implement it for the last 18 years. Many of the smaller companies, for example, might need to upgrade their existing facilities to comply with the standards. To do so, they will require capital and infrastructure, which they might lack. An example of this is quality control labs, which were made compulsory in 2005, but companies could not comply due to the inability to even afford the units. Lastly, the timelines of 6 months to 1 year might not be feasible for the large number of companies to adhere to the standards. India currently has around 10,500 drug manufacturers, including MSMEs, but only 2,000 companies, mainly exporters, are expected to have good manufacturing certificates. That means 8,000 companies need to comply to standards set out in Schedule M in just the span of a year, which, according to experts, might be a tall task.
Ekta, many thanks for joining us and explaining what this means exactly. The timelines, the deadlines being put in place could be a challenge, but this is something that we do need to get done. Now, the big national